Hello students, welcome to this lesson. In my previous class, we looked at shopping tips, where we discussed the differences between need and want. We look at impulse buying and also after sales service. In today's class, we are going to be discussing bookkeeping ethics. Bookkeeping ethics. Okay, so before we go into details of the ethics in bookkeeping, let's define bookkeeping and ethics. What is bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is the act of recording day-to-day transactions in the appropriate book as they occur in a systematic manner. It is a process of recording business transactions in a systematic way. Okay, then ethics on the other hand has to do with rules, morals and standards that governs a person's behavior. Ethics can be described as moral rules, code of conduct that guide a person in the performance of a job or a profession. Having said that, what then is bookkeeping ethics? Bookkeeping ethics refers to the generally accepted principles, values, beliefs, and practices that influence how bookkeeping practitioners behave while performing their duties. Okay, so these are principles that govern the behavior of bookkeeping practitioners or bookkeepers in the discharge of their duties, and this is classified under TAP. TAP is an acronym that stands for transparency, accountability, and probity. These three summarizes the ethics in bookkeeping. Transparency here refers to the quality of being honest and truthful. A bookkeeper should be transparent in carrying out his or her duties. A person is transparent if he or she is honest and is trustworthy. Accountability, on the other hand, means being responsible for your decisions, actions, or money kept in your care. Accountability is an obligation to show, to explain, or to justify action. This helps to improve and encourage effectiveness and efficiency of public organizations. While probity here has to do with uprightness and integrity. Probity simply means to be upright or to have moral integrity. A bookkeeper should not falsify entries in recording accounts. A bookkeeper should be upright and have high moral integrity. Let's now look at the need for accountability, transparency, and probity. There is a very strong need for transparency, accountability, and probity in the management of affairs in both the public and the private sector. These include to provide accurate and permanent records of all business transactions. That is, the record provided are correct to a very detailed level. And also we have to show the true profitability status of an organization. Okay, it helps the organization to know whether they are making profit or they are running at loss. And also it increases the performance of the business as a whole. Okay, it helps to maintain a positive company culture. It also helps to show correctly the assets and liabilities of the organization. It helps the organization to know the worth of their assets and also their liabilities. Okay? Transparency, accountability, and probity also promote integrity in the organization. And lastly, it reduces the incidence of bribery and corruption. It helps to keep workers in check. All right, let's now look at the attributes of transparency, accountability, and probity. These are openness, fairness, truthfulness, impartiality, respect for the rule of law, and due process. An organization where there is transparency, accountability, and probity must possess these qualities. Let's now look at some of the problems created by lack of tab in an organization. That is, an organization that lacks accountability, that lacks transparency, and lacks probity. What are the possible challenge they face? Number one is that there is misuse of funds and error in accounting record. This leads to corruption and also embezzlement, and also bring about abuse of office. Then we have also that it reduce the profit of the organization. Yes, it leads to lack of growth and possible collapse of the business. And also it can also make that business to execute substandard projects. Now, money that are made to take care of a particular project will be diverted for personal use, because the workers are not accountable for that money. So in an organization where they lack accountability, there is execution of substandard projects. Then we have also payment of salary to ghost workers. A ghost worker is someone who is on a payroll of a company but does not do any work. Okay, that is, the worker is entirely fictitious, and their addition to the company's payroll constitute fraud. And lastly is that when there is no accountability, transparency, and probity in an organization, there is inability to pay wages and salaries of workers. So these are some of the problems created by lack of transparency, accountability, and probity. So having said that, let's now look at some of the possible solutions to these problems. The solutions to lack of tab in an organization include constant audit of accounting records. In an organization where there is lack of tab, there is lack of accountability, there is lack of transparency and probity, there is need to have a constant audit of accounting record. That is, there should be an official inspection of an organization's account. This will help to curb the effect of lack of tab. And then we have also that there should be punishment for any worker that violates the due process. Any workers that go against the ethics governing the organization should be punished. And thirdly, we have that the organization should establish a sound internal check and internal control system. Okay, this is a mechanism or a procedure implemented to ensure the integrity of financial information. Okay, it also promotes accountability and prevents fraud. Then we have also educating members of staff on the relevance of transparency, accountability, and probity. This is important. Okay, there is need for all the workers in that organization, all workers of that organization, to know the relevance, the need of transparency, accountability, and probity, especially on the part that is going to build their integrity as workers. And lastly, we have that there is need to recruit well-versed bookkeeper and a sound management team to help facilitate the performance of various managerial functions and to promote growth and diversification.